Yeah, man, I knew sooner or later somebody was going to ask me, will you share with us the settings that they use? So, and then again, I wanted to talk about magnets on the pickups anyhow, but there's your starting point. Start at the beginning. That's pickup setup. Height of it, you already know my control setup. Alright, having a good, clean, strong sounding electric guitar unplugged. Okay, so it starts from the pickups, and then I know a lot of you guys like pedal boards. I have pedal boards, but I don't use them anymore. Just basically, the next thing the guitar is going to hit is a good old-fashioned Vox wah-wah. This is the Clyde McCoy, but it's made in USA. So maybe you guys can tell me what year that's from, when Vox decided to move to the States. And I use, this is also, it's handy because it's also a cable extension, right? I can come 20 feet out, plug into this, and now I got 20 feet to run around. Yeah, I'm still hog-tied like a dog. Yeah, but you'll have this. Then far as, if I do use a distortion box, which is once in a while, believe it or not, they're all different depending on what kind of amp you plug it into. Alright, some of the cheapest pedals in the world I found sound so much better through a particular amp than anything else. Well, that sucker's no different. I didn't bring it down, but I do have the Jimi Hendrix Band of Gypsies mini fuzz, the little red one with the white knobs. That fuzz works perfectly with a wah-wah. They make quite a few fuzzes that do not work with a wah-wah, so check that out. Why they do that is beyond me. I guess nobody's ever really put two Jimi Hendrix pedals together like a wah and a fuzz face. They should work. The Band of Gypsies ones works perfectly, and I'll demo that later. And then, believe it or not, this is a Dan Electro Pastrami Overdrive. Yes, for the good old-fashioned pastrami caster. It's very, it's an OD, so it's, tube screamer type thing. But this, I love it, and we'll demo that. So those are my two pedals that are on stage. And then from there, we go back to a good old Marshall. Yeah, the good old Marshalls. I've had two JCM 800s at 100 watt each, going to two full stacks. And then I also had a 100 watt Plexi. And I'm finding that even when I go to a music store and checking out a guitar or a Marshall amp, these settings I'm going to share with you are basically, they all end up being right around there, where again, Van Halen called it the brown sound. I like calling it the round sound. It's round. Its frequency spectrum is wide. Dynamic range is wide. Clarity, it's round. So that's what I'm shooting for. And for my round sound here with the old Marshall, I got the bass on 9. This is a Marshall Hayes. I don't believe they make them anymore. It is all tube pre, tube power, only 15 watts. What I really liked about it is that there's a digital delay built into the head. It has some other effects too you can choose, but you only get to choose one. I've been using a digital delay hooked up to my Marshalls since the 80s. As Alex Lifeson was like, that live sound with that little subtle delay. So my delay is only on, like, the depth is 3.5. So it's just very subtle, and it's on all the time. Then let's go to the bass is set at 9. My mid's right in the middle at 5. And then the trebles, this one's at 6. And I find, 6, 7, and that's like, every time I go to a Marshall, it's bass control gets maxed out on 10, mid stays in the mid, and then treble is in the 6 or 7 club. Then the gain is where things will get tricky. Now again, that's a 2-channel amp. It has that clean. And then they call it, the overdrive channel, which you can set up just like the old vintage Marshalls or the 800. It's fantastic. You got your volume and your gain there. Now here, my volume set for our drummer, right? And I'm only running it at 2.5. And all of these demos I've been doing with it plugged in, the volume's on 2.5 and the gain's on 4. All right. Now I can remember my 1-800 more like the gain at 7. So experiment, and then a good way to make sure you're not over going with the gain in the amp is, again, the volume on the guitar. Turning it down, it should clean up in the 3 or 4 zone. Okay, that's what some of my Strats will clean up earlier. Again, the pickups are a lot lower, but there's a good compromise or starting point for the gain structure of it. So I don't want to. It's not a lot of crunch. Again, I'm kind of going for that round sound, Jimi Hendrix round sound, studio and live. There's wide, there's all kinds, boom, round. Jimmy Page round sound, right? Marshall and a guitar, and then just making it as pretty, round, and warm, and not shrill. All right, Hendrix talks about that in a interview where a lot of bands are loud and then it's shrill. It's just where our music is designed to go into your heart and soul, and that's a great way to put it. Round, just like your heart and soul. Peace, man.